You're listening to the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders. Lee Sanders.
Hey, good kind people. What is going on for Monday night of July 18th, 2022? You're checking out a all-new The RCWR Show, 411mania.com reporter and columnist Lee Sanders here. What's up, y'all? Hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. Mine's, I cannot complain whatsoever. I had a damn good weekend. I cannot complain whatsoever. I will tell you guys a big piece of news or two or three as far as why that weekend was so damn good on Tuesday's Wrestling with the Topics, hosted by me and Tams. There's a lot of fun stuff we're going to be getting into on that show. But no, overall, my weekend was fantastic. I'm honestly counting down until me and the missus are able to do a little road trip going back to North Carolina in September, as she wants to go out there for a book signing that Nicholas Sparks is doing. She's a big Nicholas Sparks fan. So she told me about this some weeks back. She said, hey, I think it'd be really cool if we go back to North Carolina. That's I would normally say the scene of the crime, but there wasn't a crime out there last year, as a year ago I got married in North Carolina, as some of you longtime listeners know. So we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary some weeks back. So we've been toying with the idea of going back to North Carolina, and she's like, hey, why don't we do it? What's stopping us? Let's do it. So I'm anticipating that. There's going to be a nice, fun little break. Going to be gone for a couple of days. So I'm honestly, at this point, I'm just counting it down until I am able to enjoy that and everything. But no, pretty good weekend. I did see, I'm going to let you guys know right now, I did see about, I would say maybe 65% of tonight's WWE RAW. And that was mainly because I'm sorry, not sorry, but we're down to the final. Well, it was 5. Now we're down to 4 episodes of Better Call Saul on AMC. And tonight was a pivotal. I mean, look, all the episodes this final season is very pivotal because it does a phenomenal job every single episode thus far of bridging the gap to everything that you know and love about the Breaking Bad series. But man, I thought last week's episode was so whoa. This episode that they had premiere tonight, pretty much when you get down to, okay, whatever was the human decency that was Jimmy McGill, this episode that they premiered tonight pretty much was, okay, look, he became a piece of shit because of this moment right here. This is when it's all said and done. This is pretty much what officially pushed him over the cliff, and he just went all in on being Saul Goodman. A very good, strong ass episode that they did tonight. And I continue to like how the producers and everybody involved have been teasing these last handful of episodes. They're not giving you a trailer for what's coming the following week. They're pretty much just saying, hey, there's blah, blah, blah episodes left. And now we're down to the final 4. So I tell you, this episode went into a little bit of OT too, because we got about an hour and 20 minutes total of a new show tonight. So it was pretty good. You know, I'm not going to get any more into the specifics and everything for you guys about what all had went down. I think that should be enough to kind of entice you and everything. It's interesting when I talk to people from time to time that are Breaking Bad fans and everything, because I'll hear some say, man, sadly, I didn't really get into the Better Call Saul series. I keep meaning to check it out. I don't get around to checking it out. Well, I tell you what, if you have not represented with regards to this final season, you will have plenty of time to catch up pretty much after about a month and a half, when all the episodes, I believe they'll be available on Netflix. Because I know right now you can see the past 5 seasons on Netflix. I'm not sure if they already got something in place where you'll be able to watch the final season as well on Netflix. But yeah, FYI. So it's nice. It's nice quality time, because wifey has been going out of her way to make sure she gets off work early if she can. And tonight was definitely super early for her, all in the name of just cuddling up and just watching Better Call Saul. Nice, good quality time. Raw, I gotta say, that's not so much good quality time. I gotta let you know that right now. That's definitely not so much quality time. I saw a little bit, like I said, I saw about probably 65% of tonight's Raw. I did a lot of fast forward, and I feel bad for you guys that were sitting through what you were sitting through in regards to tonight's show. I mean, tonight's show, I gotta say, it looked pretty rough when it was all said and done. If anything, I was more interested in what's going to be going down on next week's Raw, since that's going to be at Madison Square Garden and everything is pretty much setting up SummerSlam for that weekend and everything. I'm more interested in what's going on with that than anything else. So but this was a throwaway episode. It really came off to me. They tried to build everything up around, I see Logan Paul and The Miz, Logan Paul returning to WWE Raw, having his confrontation, if you will, with The Miz and all that. Can we talk about the way Raw had opened up, though? That was just pretty, what the fuck was that about? Seriously. Okay, so for those of you that maybe didn't watch Raw, it opens up with Titus O'Neil. Now, here's a guy that we hadn't seen on WWE television in a good minute. And you're going, oh, Titus O'Neil. I'm thinking about one of the last interviews that he gave, in which he said, hey, I'm not quite done in the ring just yet. I can definitely see myself doing a lot more in the ring. But, there's going to be a time and a place, but I'm not done just yet. I can still go in the ring. I'm looking forward to getting back in the ring. All right. Okay, cool. I see things open up with Titus tonight, and I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe he's going to somehow be worked into some angle. Maybe Omos is going to step up to him or something, or maybe Titus is just going to make his big announcement that he's here, he's back, and he's looking forward to stepping into the ring with some favorites, some classic guys, people that he considers friends or whatever, mixing it up with new people. I thought maybe that was going to be the direction that we were going to be going in. But he basically, look, if you want to say, look at this guy coming out here and pretty much, hate to say it, I'm going to throw it out there, shucking and jiving and throwing out there the company bottom line, then you would be right, my friend, because that's exactly how it came off tonight. Convince me otherwise. He basically was out there pushing the whole fucking Vince McMahon narrative, if you will. Matter of fact, let me go into my notes here, because I actually wrote some of the stuff down that Titus O'Neil was saying here tonight. Basically calling WWE, am I understanding this correctly, a safe space? A safe space. What is this a safe space for? Is this a safe space? Is this a haven for domestic violence victims or something? Is this a safe space? Is WWE a safe space for those that have been somehow victimized, tortured, part of some type of bad trafficking gone wrong or something? Wow. What's going on here? Seriously, what's going on here? But yeah, I bullshit you not. So, as some of you guys already know, he is the global ambassador for the company. And he talked about how being the global ambassador and his role is to make sure to spread goodwill all over the world. Okay, you're explaining to us what exactly your position is all about as a global ambassador. So far, so good. Got no problem with what you're saying. Highlighting, talking about supporting the company that's giving back to families and communities. Okay, all right, great. I'm all behind for that. but then saying that WWE is a safe space where they don't discuss religion or politics. Then following that up with WWE is a safe haven regardless of race, economic status, or nationality, and that they're all there to have a good time. This is what Titus O'Neil has said as he welcomed everybody to Raw. Remember, this was his first on-screen appearance, if you're keeping tabs, since WrestleMania 37 when he hosted that event with the Immortal Racist, as some of us like to dub him and everything. So that right there, look, I'm happy to see Titus. Always happy to see Titus. I know that guy busts his ass real hard. The countless hours that this man spends giving back to the community. I don't need to bore you guys with his upbringings. I know we had touched upon it briefly a couple of weeks ago on Wrestling with the Topics. Some of you guys were actually kind of surprised to hear some of some key moments as far as Titus O'Neil's upbringing and everything, as we were talking about Roe versus Wade and everything. Go back a couple of weeks ago, check out that episode so you can fill in the gaps. But, you know, so look, I know about the countless hours. I know this guy's heart is always in the right place. But it just felt so sickening to my stomach to see this man out here. And here's the saddest part about everything that Titus O'Neil had put out there tonight. Here's the saddest part. In my heart of hearts, I know that Titus O'Neil believed every single thing he was putting out there. Every single thing he was saying. Whether he was given bullet points, and look, the way that speech came off, you are just really led to believe that this was purposely orchestrated. This was purposely designed by a key individual. All right. Yeah, it's funny that, you know, we're hearing this stuff about politics and all of that other shit. It's interesting because, granted, we are in a day and age right now where in some form or another, politics bleeds its way your favorite sport, or you're watching the Golden Globes or the Academy Awards and you're going, Jesus Christ, I just want to watch this show to hopefully see the people that I've been a supporter of, I've been a fan of. I'm hoping that they win the award for. I'm not interested in hearing all this political, religious, different time, different place, right? So on the one hand, you could kind of look at some of the things that was being said tonight by Titus and go, hey, okay, well, that's nice that we're kind of drawing the line here. But at the same time, can I be very honest with you guys? Of all the people to have out there, and Titus O'Neil saying what he had said, I'm sorry if I piss off a lot of Titus O'Neil fans out there. I'm sorry if I apologize, fellow minorities out there, especially my black community. But what Titus O'Neil was out there pumping out tonight, he seemed like a fucking guy that was, oh God, I can't believe this is probably going to bite me in the ass, but I got to call it how I see it, right? Keeping it honest, keeping it insightful, keeping it interactive. He came off like a token nigga. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. All the great injustices that's going on in this world right now. All the great injustices that's going on in this world right now, especially with minorities. Police brutality / police corruption, just everything that's going on. You watch the NBA and you see how the players and the owners, just a great relationship that they have in tackling some of these very important issues during these troubling times that we're in right now. You see how the NFL, the players and the owners are coming around and, trying to tackle, these same issues as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for entertainment and all of that good stuff. But you can't be oblivious and ignore, every single thing that's happening excuse me, going on around the world right now. And it just, as a black man, it made me sick to my fucking stomach to hear somebody who I have a lot of admiration, a lot of respect for, and Titus O'Neil, going out there, shucking and jiving, pushing that company line bullshit. Plain and simple. Convince me otherwise. I'm probably the realest black motherfucker that's going to give it to you right between the eyes right now on the shit that Titus O'Neil was out there pushing right now. Anybody else that is coming on their fucking show or a vlog, blog, whatever, and they're going out there saying, oh, what, you know, oh, well, just great what Titus O'Neil has said. Oh, you know, just, oh, yeah, WWE, yeah, entertainment, just, oh, yo, good, wholesome fun. Boy, that's good, right? Stay the fuck away from those people. Stay the fuck away from those people. Y'all that's been with me for I don't know how long. It doesn't matter. Whether you've been with me for a month, you've been with me for a week, or you've been with me for pretty much all the 10 years that I've been on the air. We all know that at some point in all forms of media, at some point, real life gets in the way. At some point, there's going to be some difficult topics that we have to confront, that we have to speak upon, because it's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's almost bigger than the entire world. And we got to fucking go there, because the only way that change is basically going to be able to happen is when we speak up about it, and collectively together we do our part and making that change happen, right? So it was very sickening to my stomach to see Titus O'Neil out there, just all things considered. All things considered. It was sickening to see him out there tonight pushing that company bullshit line. I know some of you guys also kind of read what Titus O'Neil was putting out there as basically, this is kind of Vince McMahon's way of trying to silence some of that bullshit that's going on with the allegations and all that. I can see that as well, but there's just so many, for me, there's just so many little asterisks that you can just put at what, and this is the sad part. This is the sad part. I know the heart of Titus O'Neil. I know what he was saying he actually believes. But I truly believe at the same time, this guy is fucking oblivious. He is fucking oblivious to, right? And I hope that somebody sits this young brother down and go, man, what you said out there to open up that show tonight, brother. There's, this is bigger than you. This is right. This is bigger than the black community. There's a lot of shit that's going on right now, brother. And we need strong influencers, people that got money, that got the following, that are a minority, such as yourself, Titus O'Neil, to lend your voice to those worthy causes and help try to steer this up and coming generation in the right direction. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say in regard. Yeah. Titus O'Neil can be gone for another 5 years for all I care. Like, just, that's the sad part. Grandmaster in the Discord saying he agrees with everything that I was saying, and that as a black guy in the UK, he feels like it's dividing a lot of people. So I would imagine so. Seriously, I would imagine so. It's interesting because, and I cannot help but wonder if Titus O'Neil had watched this. I'll talk about it more on Tuesday's Wrestling with the Topics, but there's a really great documentary I watched on Netflix recently, y'all. It is called Who We Are, a chronicle of racism in America, something along those lines, but it's definitely titled Who We Are. It's on Netflix. Look it up. It came out maybe about 2, possibly 3 months ago. A very powerful documentary. When you combine that with just everything that has been happening in mainstream culture these past 10 years alone, I just, for the love of me, anybody that is minorities, especially black, right? And you hear what Titus said. I just don't see how you can look at all of that with a straight face, applaud that, and just, yeah, all right. Damn, yeah. Entertainment, safe haven for entertainment. Here's a better idea. If WWE is going to provide a safe fucking haven for, we just care about entertainment. All right, well, fucking stop having Vince McMahon shuck and jive his old white ass out there every other week, rubbing it in people's faces that he's basically fucking bulletproof. That, what can I say? Papa is a Rolling Stone, so what? So what if I paid these fucking women hush money and I was doing XYZ with them? It's like, it's not illegal what I had did. I followed everything by the book. Hey, we're consenting adults and y'all may not like it, but you know what? It is what it is. And I use my own personal money. I didn't use any of the company money. So, enjoy Raw. I need that same level of energy that was put into the creation of that Titus O'Neil opener tonight. I need that shit to be all across the board. I don't ever want to fucking see Vince McMahon or any other motherfucker out there. You see how hypocritical it comes off, y'all? Seriously. Sometimes I just look at the bullshit in WWE and I just go, thank God we got other varieties that's out there. Yeah, they might have a few hiccups here and there. Yeah, there might be a whole lot of fucking super kicking going on all over the fucking place. Yeah, everybody's doing false finish after false finish after false finish. Everybody's got to get their own fucking shit off. Everybody's got to, make sure they get in all their moves. Yeah. Depending on the promotion, you might have some that kind of come off like they're oblivious and they don't really know what the fuck they're doing. Maybe there's too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people in that person's ear. But at least there's none of this fucking bullshit that's going on with some of those other promotions. Nice to have variety in 2022, y'all. Seriously, nice to have variety in 2022. I didn't mean to get off on that rant, but that really... I just said, wow, if this is how we're opening things up, I don't see myself watching the entire hour of this. Seriously, like, where are we going from here? And we pretty much went into from one talking segment, basically, pretty much going into another. And you're just, oh, joy. Oh, fucking joy. Here's where we're going. Now, look, some of the in-ring action tonight for the show, I got to give mad props to Bianca Belair taking on Carmella. We had a rematch there for the Raw Women's Championship, but the title this go round could change hands on a count out or disqualification. All right. So they upped the ante here a little bit. I did enjoy this. I don't know what the fuck Becky Lynch was wearing, being out there and everything. Becky Lynch came off. God, she seemed like for me, I saw different people having their own takes on that. For me, she had this whole, it seemed like Chucky from Child's Play. It seemed like Chucky meets Assassin's Creed. It looked like she was trying to be Chucky dressed up as the main character from Assassin's Creed. That's how she came up tonight. It was really weird. Some bad coordinating that was going on with her for tonight. But yeah, she was at ringside trying to fuck it up a little bit there for Bianca. I enjoyed what Carmella and Bianca did. Bianca retaining the championship. I don't think there was really any doubt whatsoever that Bianca was going to come out of there with the championship. I will admit, however, that in regards to this particular encounter that was going on with these girls, this was probably the weakest, because this is our third, maybe fourth time seeing Bianca and Carmella lock it up within recent weeks. This was their weakest outing. It was definitely sloppy in a few areas there. The ending was kind of abrupt as well. I wasn't really a fan of that whatsoever. Not good. Not good. And that's the sad part. It wasn't like it was a rush job either. It was given the proper amount of time to breathe and everything, but I don't know. It's kind of weird there. Oh wow, I wasn't even made aware of this. Apparently, I have a chat room. Sean is saying I have a chat room. Okay, well, hang on. I'm looking in the Discord here. So, welcome to those of you that's tuning in live. Whether you be checking out on YouTube, where else? We're pretty much all over. We got the YouTube, we got the Twitter, we got the Facebook. I was not aware I have a chat room now, apparently, in the Discord. So let's see what's going on here with the chat. Yeah. Hey, Eddie, what's up, man? Yeah. Okay. So you guys in the Discord, if you're trying to chat with me, I guess to kind of clean things up a little better, just hop in the RCWR chat. I know you guys that's listening via Discord, you're already in the voice chat, but if you're trying to interact with me directly while the show is live, I guess to make it easier, go into the RCWR text chat while you're listening, and I can definitely a lot better. I kind of like that. Whoever had created the little text chat, thank you for that. So I don't know why, but it's weird because I remember when I created the voice chat, and I don't know what happened. I guess I spent so much time and energy focusing in on the voice chat, I never did spend time thinking about the text chat. So yeah, text chat's easier. That way I can see what everybody is saying in there here. Eddie, Corey Graves was unbearable to listen to on commentary during that match. I would imagine so, because his boo was wrestling Bianca and all that. I again gotta share the secrets with you guys. When it comes to me watching these wrestling shows, for the most part, I have commentary. I have it muted. Very seldom will I even have closed captioning on while I'm watching my wrestling. I like being able to just have the TV on mute, watch the TV. That way I can appreciate even more what's going on in the ring. I can focus on that more than what's going on with the side banner that's going on. Because sometimes, you got to admit, sometimes the commentary can be very distracting. It can be very, very distracting. And then you miss the littlest things as a result of that. So I can tell you that when it comes to Monday Night Raw particularly, I know I've probably said this before, so I apologize to long-time listeners that maybe, but it's really nice. I guess I keep bringing it up because it's a totally different experience that I think a lot of you guys, if you're up for it, you should try it sometimes. You'd be amazed at how better enhanced your senses are, particularly what you're watching, and how everything is processing in your head when you're watching the in-ring stuff. And your TV is muted and you don't have to worry about the commentary. The only time I will turn the volume on for WWE Raw or SmackDown is if there is a in-ring promo. But then even at that, I'm going, okay, well, who's talking? Because it also depends who's talking. Because not every single body I'm going to unmute the TV and listen to see, okay, what do they got to say here? I'm a little bit curious, right? Now, I did have the TV unmuted for Logan Paul and Miz because I was very curious how the crowd was going to be reacting to Logan Paul, because it's pretty obvious that the experiment that they had going on there for Logan, they really want to try to bring this guy in as a baby face and everything. So I was trying to pay very close attention to how the crowd was going to be reacting to Logan. I know we're kind of jumping around. Nobody said we had to go in a particular order. Besides, we're pretty much, at this point, we're almost done talking about Raw anyway. And we can go on to some other topics and everything. But Logan Paul, I got to say, he did good for his promo. He did good. He did damn good. Right. I think that because what he has been doing all of these years as a social media influencer, right, doing his stuff online and everything, that helped. That definitely helped. And I think anybody that has done vlogging, that has done a webcast show long enough, if, and I got to put a big asterisk by this, if a person is serious about becoming an overall better talker, an overall better presenter, then they will hold themselves to the fire and try to figure out ways to get better. Whether that is having some friends or a close loved one. Hey, check this out. Tell me what you think. If it's the drizzling shits, let me know. Tell me the ways that I need to improve. Am I being a little bit too monotone? Is my energy too low? Do I need to really pick it up? Or there's no energy at all? Like, you tell me what's going on. Am I fumbling with my words too much? What's going on here? Is my eye contact on point? The best will be fucking that OCD. And I can tell that Logan Paul, I've seen a little bit of his YouTube stuff off and on, right? So I never had a question that he would be able to transition as far as cutting promos and everything. I never had a doubt that combined with what he was doing in boxing, I never had but to actually see this kid be able to string it all together, because this is pretty much what he's going to be, doing now on a full-time basis. And I'm going on and on about Logan Paul because night and day, even though the crowd might have been a bit indifferent to Logan, to what you all are saying in the chat, even though the crowd might have been a bit indifferent to him tonight, his promo, where he is right now as an overall performer, night and day, when you are comparing it to one Theory. Theory right now, he may have the look, but he does not have it on the microphone. He is still trying to piece it all together. He is still bubblegum bland, right? Right? He is just that bland bubble gum. There's no flavor in it whatsoever. Okay. Now, sometimes, hey, man, it's bursting with flavor. Okay, that's good. But eventually that flavor wears off, right? The juices are gone eventually. That's not the case with Theory. Theory is bland off the gate. I keep wondering if we're going to see him get better on the microphone. And I don't know. I really don't know. I got to say, between Evolve, being up on NXT, and then where he is now, my verdict is still out on the young brother. But just what I'm seeing of him so far, it doesn't seem like he's getting better in that respected area. It doesn't seem like it. But then when you look at Logan Paul, just what he put out there off the gate, you're going, okay, this kid cuts a better promo than this Theory dude. And then it becomes a point where, okay, well, what's going on with Theory? How can we get Theory, exactly where we need him to be on the mic here, right? And also to the point, two completely different beasts as far as their feuds go, their respective feuds go. Because what essentially is getting Theory, if you even want to call it over, Theory has the early Seth Rollins syndrome, where, okay, we're just going to pair this young dude up with all of these guys as a supporting cast to really help try to get him over. Look at the amount of fucking hands that have their cookie jar on fucking Theory right now. It's fucking ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. Now, WWE can tell you till they're blue in the face, this kid is the future. But, you know, if you really take a step back and you're just, okay, let me really see what's going on here. Okay, this is who you want us to like, but he doesn't quite check off all the boxes just yet. He's not checking every single one of them off just yet. Will he get there in due time? You know, it's weird because there used to be a time for as long as I've been watching wrestling. And I've been watching it since, God, at least my earliest memory would probably be 1983, 1984. So you're talking about, you know, 3 or 4-year-old Lee, right? Certain people that I can remember watching over the years, especially if it was maybe my first time seeing them, my first proper introduction to them. You know, there's some individuals, and you guys know this as veteran wrestling fans as well, students of the games in your own respective right. You know, you know, okay, yeah, I see this person. They're going places. I can definitely, yeah, just got to give this kid some time. They're going to string it all together. Randy Orton. Come on, let's go there. You looked at certain guys. Okay, not quite there. He's going to get there, though. Yeah, I see it. Dave Bautista. Yeah, he's going to. John Cena. Yeah, he's going to string it together. Even as the prototype. Way before the whole thugging. Just when he was the prototype. You go, yeah, this guy's got something. He's got to string it together, but he's got something. I like him. Something's there. I see it. Right? Theory. For me at least. Still out. Verdict still out. You're doing good. Don't get me wrong. He's doing good with some of these matches that he's been having. I gave the kid the praise when it came to the match with Lashley. I thought he held himself very well against Lashley and everything. But I don't know. But looking at Logan Paul. VI, yeah. All those guys I had mentioned. All Jim Cornette guys. Yes. All Jim Cornette guys. You could almost say corny, almost kind of knew how to pick them, so to speak there. You could definitely make that argument. But yeah, Logan Paul, Theory, night and day. Night and fucking day. That was the one sore thing I had got right in between the eyes tonight, seeing those respected dudes, you know? So that was that. By the way, that whole Logan Paul Miz, you know, that really didn't go anywhere. I mean, that pretty much was Logan Paul coming out there. Nah, man, contrary to what you're putting out there, we're going to do this fucking match at SummerSlam one way or another. And if you're not trying to do this, well, I guess you got tiny balls. Getting the crowd to chant the whole tiny balls thing. You know, that pretty much was, hey, I'm the baby face here. You get me, folks? I'm the baby face. Don't you want to chant tiny balls at Miz? Come on now, right? Everything that they're doing with Logan Paul, it's obvious he's the baby face. I'm most curious to see how things are going to go down with that New York crowd. That is going to be the biggest test. I've said it on the show for many fucking moons now over the years. If you really want to know, what's going on with your superstar, your wrestler in the making. You want to know if you're on the right course or if you need to change course. Go in front of a good, smart crowd, like a New York crowd, like a Chicago crowd, like a DC crowd, like a Maryland crowd, like a Philly crowd. Go to those respected territories. And if you can make it there, you got something good going on. You're in the right spot, right? You're on the right path. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Logan Paul at Madison Square Garden. It always gets me giddy when I think about WWE doing stuff at MSG. I particularly think about my fond memories going up to New York when the WWE store and the restaurant were out there back in the day. I remember how me and my best friend, I'll never forget, it was our first time going up to the WWE store.
and then trying to see if we can, go and get in on the restaurant. And, back then the restaurant, it didn't open until later in the afternoon. I don't think the WWE restaurant had opened until about maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening or some shit like that. But the store, which was right next door to the restaurant, the store was open, and oh my God, it was like a fucking mecca. It was like you died and went to fucking heaven. It was badass. All the cool merch that they had in there. Fucking badass. Just the stories I could fucking tell you guys. It would probably have been still there to this very day if it wasn't for the poor cash handling that was going on. There was a lot of shit that was happening under the table. Motherfuckers were not, you're almost thinking about Casino. If you ever saw Casino, you remember how they were fucking with the numbers there. That's pretty much how things were going down. Kind of sad, kind of fucking sad. I remember, I actually had spoke with one guy. This was when we were on the air too, some years back. I spoke with one guy that actually used to work at the WWE restaurant, and he was telling me when I was on there, and then we were talking about it more privately. He was telling me a whole lot of crazy shit that was going on, back then, and you're just going, what the fuck? Just insane, just fucking insane, man. Kevin Owens made his return tonight. And he had his KO show. Kevin's looking pretty good. Looked like he got some new ink, possibly. He also looked pretty well rested and all of that. It was nice to kind of see that they, had him break away from the whole Elias thing, right? Elias, his boy Elroy, right? It's just all that shit. Nice to see them have him break away from that. He was interviewing Riddle. He was trying to actually pitch him and Riddle being a tag team. What did he call that joint? Bro KO. So it could potentially work, or so we thought. And the next thing you know, Seth Rollins coming from out of nowhere, beating the holy crap out of Riddle. KO quickly making his exit. Right. So we got that nice little continuation of Riddle and Rollins. And, all things seem to point that those two are going to be colliding at SummerSlam. So that should be a pretty good match. Looking forward to that. I'm more interested in seeing what's going to be happening with KO. What exactly is his role going to be at SummerSlam this year? Is there potentially enough time to squeeze him in there somewhere on the SummerSlam card, or maybe potentially have him come out and do something in the favor of Rollins? And if maybe Orton is possibly going to make a SummerSlam appearance. I mean, can Randy even do that? Do we even know what's going on with Randy? Because I know he's pretty beat up right now. Didn't they say something about he had to go under the knife? I could be wrong on that, but I thought I remembered hearing something about he was going to be gone for several months, that basically he wasn't going to be coming back until maybe first quarter of 2023. Am I understanding that right, y'all? Let me know. And I have been seeing what you guys have been saying in the chat. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to VI. Shout out to Grandmaster. Grandmaster, by the way, for me, soccer in the UK unites a lot of people. What was that? Hang on. Let me go back. What was that about? That unites a lot of people for me. I disagree with the knee. I personally don't like it. I grew up, we were all equal. We had white guys, black guys, Asian guys playing football, having fun. Going back to the point that I was talking about earlier, again, I'm not going to, you know what? I'm going to save that for Tuesday's Wrestling with the Topics, because if I were to, there's so many with that one comment from Grandmaster. No, actually, that was from VI. I think VI was just quoting Grandmaster and myself. But that comment, VI, there's so many directions I can go in that one. And, unfortunately, this particular show, I kind of notice people like when we go in those directions, but they're also used to the talk of mainly the wrestling. So I'm going to, now that we have our own little text chat, I'm going to just make a mental note of that, because that really ties in beautifully to that Netflix documentary I was talking about earlier. And again, I think for those of you that haven't seen that documentary I'm talking about, if you haven't seen it yet, you really should go out of your way between now and then when I join you Tuesday night to check it out, because we're definitely going to be, I wonder, can we, we'll see, by the time we come on Tuesday night, Tam sadly will not have seen the documentary yet, but I'll be talking about it for sure. Yeah, I'll be talking about it for sure. But has Orton gone under the knife, Eddie? Has he gone under the knife? Because I thought I read he was supposed to go under the knife. I'm just not really sure if I remember hearing that or if maybe that's inaccurate. But I know he's not supposed to be back for several months. Some other stuff that went down on Raw tonight. Dominic, per Judgment Day, they guaranteed that Dominic was going to join Judgment Day one way or another, as we had a one-on-one match between Damian Priest, Rey Mysterio. That was pretty decent for what it was worth. Boy, short ass match though. Wasn't that like was it even 5 minutes? I know they did a commercial in there and everything, but no surgery yet. Okay, Orton has not had surgery yet. Okay. A little short match between Damian Priest, Rey Mysterio. Priest picking up the win. After the match, they're continuing their assault on Ray. They get a steel chair. They're getting ready to pretty much do this dude just like they did Edge over a month ago. Dominic gets in there and says, look, I'll join you guys. Just please stop. Just stop. I'll join you. And their ears were delighted to hear that he was going to join them. They made him stand up. Okay, repeat that to the crowd. We want to make sure we got you on record. What did you just say? Oh, I'll join you. Just please, no more. I'll join you. I'll join Judgment Day. Well, they pretty much told him, yeah, that's not how this works. And they beat the holy shit out of him. And then they explained their actions afterwards. Because when you looked at that spot, you got to admit, you're going, well, wait a minute. This kind of comes off a little bit bipolar. You wanted this guy to join Judgment Day, and yet, wait a minute here. What? If you didn't connect the dots, that's fine, because they brilliantly came back not that long after, as they were interviewed backstage, was Judgment Day. And they pretty much said, yo, look, we gave Dominic a chance to join Judgment Day. He thought that by saying, hey, please don't beat up my father. Don't kill my father. I'll fucking join you guys. No. That's not how this works. We thought, if anything, Dom would take fate into his own hands. Take that steel chair. Beat the living shit out of his dad. I'm paraphrasing, of course, obviously, but when you get right down to the heart of the matter, that's what pretty much they were saying. We were expecting him to beat the shit out of his own dad. Take the bull by the horns. Get a set of balls. But he didn't do that. Very interesting. I like that. That coming back full circle, that little fine of storytelling that WWE did tonight, I like that for what it was worth. I'll give them props for that. That was good. And of course, at Madison Square Garden next week, boy, John Cena had got Laredo, didn't he? He got Laredo when he came back for his little 20th anniversary thing. And, in retrospect, you're kind of going, God damn, of all the cities to waste a John Cena return on, fucking Laredo. Rey Mysterio gets there's that goddamn mosquito I was looking for earlier. I am now distracted as I see a mosquito in here. And I wonder if I would be able to kill this mosquito while live on the air. If you want to trip me out, put a mosquito in the room with me, and I will go fucking crazy. You guys just heard me trying to smack the shit out of that mosquito. I'm pretty sure I didn't get it. I'm pretty damn good at getting mosquitoes too. Tams will tell you, I am like the king of killing mosquitoes with just my 2 hands. Anyway, we're live, pal. Shit happens. Anyway, speaking of which, we're live, pal. I got to give a mad shout out later on. There was a new podcast I was checking out with a wrestling celebrity and a old friend of mine. God, I had him on a couple of times. I definitely consider him a friend, and I'm happy to see that he's finally back into the podcasting game. I'll talk more about that in my thoughts on their first episode that they put out in a hot little bit, because I think at the time that we're doing this episode right now, I believe episode 2 maybe is getting ready to come out. If it's not already out, I believe that their second episode is getting ready to drop. But I think we were done talking about Judgment Day. I think we were done talking about all of that. Just interesting how Rey Mysterio gets MSG, right? So, if I were to kind of make a bold prediction, man, I just kind of feel as though maybe the numbers game is gonna tilt in favor of Dom and Ray. I just kind of feel as though, do you think it's possible maybe Edge makes his return at MSG next week and something goes down where, maybe there's some type of a tag match or whatever? Or do we maybe see a third person being revealed for Judgment Day next week at MSG? They destroy the Mysterios, and Mysterios put out a challenge to, we'll face you guys at fucking SummerSlam. You guys don't have a third man. Don't worry about that. We'll get somebody and we'll see your asses at SummerSlam. Kind of feel that maybe we're going in that direction. We are talking about SummerSlam after all. So, and SummerSlam should be another 2-night event, right? So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Rollins taking on Ezekiel. Rollins picking up the W. There's that goddamn mosquito again. Let's see what I can do this time. Yeah, you guys have no idea how much I hate mosquitoes. Seriously, you have no idea. No, come back. I was about to get it. I was about to get that. Book a match. Me and the mosquito that's in this room here. Book the 2 of us for a SummerSlam match and watch the magic fly. Anyway. Watch the magic fly. Yeah, that's funny. Ezekiel did pretty good here. Great kick-ass match. It's just unfortunate that they had sandwiched this good quality of a match. They sandwiched it, right here, because at this point, everything was just boring. But, then it's like, oh, there's a nice little sleeper hit right here. Ezekiel is continuing to go out there and fucking kill it, man. Got to give him mad props. Omos having a squash match against Angelo Dawkins that pretty much had set up a tag match. Omos MVP taking on Street Profits. Profits winning via DQ. Usos, they pretty much whole feud continuing there between them and Street Profits and everything. Whether or not, I'm not tired of Profits and Usos, but at the same time, I am kind of like, okay, surely we can establish some other tag teams. Like, come on, man. Like, can we get past this already? I'm already past this honeymoon. Seriously. AJ Styles taking on Austin Theory. AJ Styles winning via countout as Dolph Ziggler was at ringside yet again, following up from his return to the Monday Night brand from last week. While the ref was distracted, final moments of the matchup, ref was checking on AJ, and then a super kick from out of nowhere on fucking Austin Theory. Ref is starting to count. He gets up to 5. Theory is up at 8, hits the apron. AJ pretty much had won right as the referee had counted to 10. So Theory didn't get back into the ring in time there, as just for extra fun measures there, AJ hit the Styles Clash, right? Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Dana Brooke, Piper Niven, aka Dewdrop, Nikki Ash, Tamina, Nice little tag match that was going on there. Again, Bliss, Asuka, Dana Brooke taking on Piper, Ash, Tamina. Drizzling shits. 2 minutes and change. Who really won that? I don't think anybody was really paying attention on that one. Remind me again why Ciampa has been teaming up with Miz. We really haven't quite established that, have we? We really have not established that. The pacing of this show this week, some of the booking decisions that were made, some of the sloppiness that was going on, a lot of dull moments that was going on throughout these 3 hours. Hey, look. Theory, AJ, for what it was worth, they tried to rise to the occasion. The match between Ezekiel and Rollins, that was a damn good one. But really, horrible show all the way around. I don't see how anybody can come on here with a straight face and say this Raw was damn fucking good. I just don't see that. And anybody that says this show was really good, boy, they must be getting some serious fucking coin from WWE, or they got like some serious friends they gotta put over that's in WWE or something. You know, I'm not taking any shots at anybody. You know, if I got something I need to say about somebody, I'll be fucking blunt. I'll call the motherfucker out. Seriously, I'll call them out if I got a problem with them. But no, it's just. It's weird. Seriously, I don't see how anybody could come on here with a straight face. Oh, this show was good this week. Oh, you know, I loved it. It's a thumbs up. It was an 8 out of 10. You know, I'm not all, for you hardcore WWE fans, I'm not all, you know, when they do a good episode, I'm there. I give it praise. Good shit. I'm there. But this was just one of those, Jesus Christ, dude, you're 2 weeks away from your fucking, one of your biggest 4 fucking pay-per-views out of the year. And it just feels like a whole lot of nothing on that road to that pay-per-view. It really does. Just a whole lot of nothing. If you guys been enjoying yourselves so far, depending on how you're checking out this episode, show the love. Definitely subscribe if you haven't done so already. Shout out to our YouTube community. Y'all know you need to make sure you smash that like button when you do that. You really help spread the word about the content. Watch time, all about that watch time. Higher the retention and all that, the fucking better. So work that fucking magic. By the way, do me a huge favor. There is a sponsor, you know, look, you know, sometimes, you know, we have a really good position where we're working with, you know, certain sponsors and we love working with them. We do. Any sponsor that we're able to work with, sincerely, we love working with them because when it's all said and done, they are helping with the show expenses. They're helping us with show equipment and all of that, right? So much shit behind the scenes. You know, you guys have no idea, you know, and the trickling effects of that, you know, definitely, especially with the position that I'm in right now, continuing my education, you know, officially getting my my broadcasting media degree and everything, you know, it's just the domino effect, right? You know, sometimes the expenses, it can just kind of get out of hand. So I love it when we get to work with sponsors. And, you know, if you guys been listening to the show on demand and on the download, you know, we've been working with a lot of sponsors these past several weeks. There's one sponsor I want you guys to just go out of your way and represent. You don't have to buy anything from this particular sponsor, okay? If you don't want to. All I want you to do, visit their website, plain and simple. Just visit their website, browse it for 2, maybe 3 minutes, okay? And that's it. If y'all want to go that extra mile, and if you maybe want to hit me up in a private message, you want to let me know what you know, had thought about the site, you know, what your experience was like, if you could see yourself buying their products or whatnot. If you want to maybe share some of that information with me, you don't have to. But if you want to go that extra mile just to, you know, be friendly and, you know, hey, Leah, I heard what you said. Hey, look, this is what's up. I'd appreciate that, but it's not necessary. But all I want you guys to do when you get a free moment, visit the website lewlock.com. That's LEWLOCK. I like the concept. It's a badass concept. All right. So picture this. You're in your bedroom. Lord knows, I don't know. Maybe you're beating off, or, maybe you're with somebody. Things are getting hot and heavy. Fuck. Maybe you're watching a really good movie or a TV show. Somebody barges in. Relative, spouse, whatever the fuck, right? Or you're just trying to make sure that something that you have in your office, commercial space, apartment, condo, whatever, you're trying to make sure your shit's on point. Well, this Lewlock is pretty badass because you basically use your unique fingerprint. Now, for some of you guys that's out there on the workforce, you already know about that whole biometric fingerprint shit, because these days, a lot of the employers, they pretty much have done away with the traditional, just punch in your number to clock in and out, and we'll keep track of your hours that way. Lord knows you can just have your friend at fucking work and say, hey man, I'm going to be an hour late. Can you clock me in? Right? Nowadays, everybody has pretty much, we're going the biometric route. You got to use your fingerprint. So think that concept. But all you got to do, like for this Lewlock, all you're doing is using any one of your fingerprints once you set it up to unlock and lock your door. It's fucking badass. Just at the press, right, of your little fingerprint that you use. It's fucking badass. So represent, check them out. And like I said, just browse their site, look it up, look them out, get a feel for them and all that. And if you end up saying, you know what, I actually want to buy, I want to check this out, that's great. But you don't have to. Just go on the site, browse it for 2-3 minutes, and then that's it. You want to go the extra mile, let me know what you had thought, site navigation and all that, you can do that. But again, that's not necessary. Just visit the site. That's it. I want to give a shout out to, I consider her definitely a friend of the show. I've pretty much let it be known off and on over the years how much of a big fan and supporter I am of her. I've actually done original artwork of her. And I am definitely feeling for her right now. And that's Jessie Belle. She's otherwise known as Jessie Jones from the Wild Women of Wrestling promotion. I can't stress this enough, but my thoughts, it's definitely going to her right now. So if you guys had missed this, Jessie Belle's sister has apparently gone missing. Her sister has been missing since June 30th. And when you see the images that's been shared by Jessie Belle of her sister, they look practically identical. They almost look like twins. It's just her sister, looks a little older and everything. But my God, they almost look like identical twins. And I had saw this over the weekend, and it just broke my fucking heart when I had saw this. And I can't believe Jessie had said, I don't want to do this, but I need help. It's like, Jessie, honey, you should never feel bad about saying, hey, I need help. Her sister's name is Valerie. And apparently she was last seen in the Southeast Florida, Jupiter, Stewart area. So shout out, because we do have listeners in the Florida area. I think it had really picked up after, particularly after we did the Jericho cruise from the previous year. And it seems like ever since then, we've continued to have some type of listenership presence in the Florida area. So for those of you in the Florida area, definitely be on your P's and Q's. Jessie Belle is on Twitter at Jessie Belle 1. That's Jessie, Jessie, B as in boy, E, double L, E, the actual number 1. She's mainly, she's also on Instagram, but she's mainly more active from what I've seen, because I follow both of her pages, but she seems to be more active on the Twitter. If you maybe want to offer her some tips, you think you might know something, her DMs are open, so you can definitely slide in there, pass along whatever info you may have. And I'm actually looking at her Twitter page right now just to see if there's any there's no new update. It's still the same. So I'm really hoping, and the greatest compliment that you guys that's listening right now, be it live or you'll be listening on demand and on the downloads, the biggest piece of advice I can give you guys, the biggest thing that you guys can do right now is blast that shit. Retweet the fuck out of that shit. Go on her original post and take your pick. You don't have to just go with the one that you're saying, okay, this looks like it has the most retweets and likes. Let me just blast this out there. All your favorite wrestling sites, all your favorite wrestling podcasts, tag all them sons of bitches and get that shit blasted. Because what has been the greatest travesty out of all of this, to my personal knowledge, and I haven't even seen my friends do this over at the 411 Mania site, far as I know, they have not even reported on this. And the sister has been missing since June 30th. Now, probably what most likely happened, you know how it is when a person goes missing. They are a grown ass adult. They can pretty much do whatever they want, yada, 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 yada. Unfortunately, you got to let a certain amount of time to go by before the person is essentially declared missing or whatever. There's a whole lot of variables that come into play, basically, unless we're talking about a person that, they never miss a shift. They are very punctual. When they say they're going to, go from here to there, that's exactly what they fucking do. Right. There's a whole lot of variables where maybe, okay, let's go ahead. Let's start this investigation like ASAP. But then there's other times where it's kind of like, you got to wait a little bit. Right. So I'm really hoping that this family can have some type of, I'm praying for good news. I'm hoping it's a case where, maybe she had slipped, hit her head, maybe she had got some type of concussion and she's just been walking around, right? I'm hoping it's some shit like that and it's not worse. Seriously, it's not worse. But the more time, we all know this, the more time that goes past, the slimmer the odds that person, right? So I'm really fucking... this one stings because I've been following Jessie. I've been a fan of her work for some years now. And I really, really, came like just big full circle, being a big fan of her stuff, checking her out in WOW, Women of Wrestling and everything. And so Jessie, I'm pulling for you. I'm pulling for your family. And like I said, you guys do your part. Blast. I would like to see all the websites out there. I want to see the Sean Ross Saps. I want to see the Fightfuls. I want to see all those motherfuckers, even motherfuckers I can't stand. I want to see them all do their fucking part and fucking put this blast out there. So hopefully before this week is out. And I will tell you this, I am going to, between now and tomorrow after the show's over, I'm going to be going back on the 411 site to see if anything was posted about Jessie. If nothing was posted about Jessie, y'all know I write on that site. So I will definitely write up a piece, put some stuff out there and do my part as well. But so I'm pulling. I was mentioning on a little bit of a lighter note from earlier. So I got to give mad props to another, I consider him a friend of the show. I haven't sat down and talked with him in some years. He seems to be back into the game of doing shows again. And that's my friend Sean Oliver from Kayfabe Commentaries. And he is doing a new venture with Big Sexy Kevin Nash. They're doing the Click This podcast. Okay. It's called Click This with Kevin Nash and Sean Oliver. I had watched their first episode over the weekend, and I watched the full. I think they were on for like almost 2 hours and 10 minutes. I watched it. I loved it. I have been following Kevin Nash for many fucking years now. And I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I have been following Kevin Nash on Twitter for many years now. And I love the shit that Kevin Nash be putting out there, whether you want to talk politics or religion. I just have a deep, rich appreciation for how his mind works and his, his very neutral approach, just looking at all things, depending on the topic and everything. And I felt that the first episode that they put out there, which was basically a memoriam episode, if you will, was a tribute episode to Scott Hall. I thought they did pretty good. There's definitely some areas where they need to tweak things a bit. Like if I were to give Sean and Kev one piece of advice, it would be work on the transitioning of topics better. For the most part, for that first episode, they seem to have done, I would say out of 100%, 70% they did pretty good. Where they lost me a little bit, and those of you that had watched that first episode, you would agree with me, man, when he talked about the final days of Scott Hall, when he talked about how, man, COVID, it had affected so many of us in so many different ways. And for Scott Hall, it was his worst fucking enemy because all the great progress that, he was making. Sure, he might have had some slips here and there, but, you never, heard about him, getting in trouble with the law or blah this and blah that. And sadly, when COVID hit, Scott Hall was in this position where he pretty much was at his home in Georgia, pretty much during the lockdown, pretty much just staying to himself. Yeah, he would check in with friends here and there, but, he started taking a liking to, I believe Kev had said the vodka, right? That was one of his favorite drinks and everything. He was always ordering fucking Grubhub, having food delivered to them and all of that. Kev wanted to, see some of his friends, jump out there, and everything. But, for whatever respected reason, I guess because of COVID, he just, changed my mind, COVID and all. So it was so tragic to hear how Scott Hall met his ultimate demise. If you guys didn't listen to the podcast, it's a web stream that they do have available on the YouTube channel. So you can literally watch Sean and Kev go back and forth for those of you that actually want to see the two. And I would definitely recommend you go out of your way and actually watch the webcast version as opposed to listening to the audio, because to just see the range of emotion from both men, but really from Kevin Nash, he's basically pouring his heart out, talking about, losing his best friend and everything. It was just so fucking gut wrenching and everything. But, so look, I'm going to just give you guys the bullet points, but basically, VI, it wasn't it. It was so fucking sad. So for you guys that didn't listen to it yet, Scott Hall was, making a picture of some Kool-Aid, basically. He had like some Crystal Light or whatever. He was making a picture, and there was some ice that had fell from out of the freezer when he went to go get ice to put it in his pitcher. And so he was just kind of going, okay, some ice had fell. Yeah, whatever. I'll get that later. So he's mixing up his drink. Next thing you know, he fucking slips on that same fucking piece of ice. And he already had got surgery on one hip. So when he fell, it sounded like some shit from Home Alone. Well, when you're hearing Kevin Nash talk about this, when he slips on that fucking ice, he fucking falls he goes all in on that fall. fucking crashes, cracks, destroys his other fucking hip. Right, VI. He breaks his other hip. And the pain is just so fucking unbearable when he tries to get up. It's just, the pain is so much. He fucking passes out. When he wakes up, and when this went down, it was daytime. So by the time Scott wakes up, it's fucking nighttime. So he doesn't know how long he's been fucking out. His fucking phone is in the recliner and in the other room, but he's in the kitchen laid out. But he knows where his phone is, so he can try and get help or whatever. So he tries to gather up the will, but he can't. He passes back out again. Keep in mind, Scott Hall has a pacemaker and all of that shit that's going on with him, okay? So he wakes up yet again, and, you know, he's pretty much going, not like this. I refuse to go out like this. He musters up the last little bit of energy that he has, and he's very dehydrated, and he manages to get that pitcher, and he is just going to town on that drink. And that pretty much helped him drag himself somehow to his phone, call the ambulance, and in the words of Kevin Nash, you know, he didn't have health insurance. So he went to this shitty ass fucking hotel that's, I'm sorry, not a hotel, a hospital that's basically rated 2 out of 5. He was talking to Scott every day because there basically was a landline there. And then the next thing you know, things had pretty much downhill from there. If you guys recall, Kevin Nash was doing a autograph signing. I forgot where, but he received a call from Paul Levesque, and Paul basically said, "Hey, look, man, not looking good for Scott. Scott just suffered 3 heart attacks, and prognosis isn't good. They're saying he's probably not going to make it." So, Jesus, I mean, just my God. And then, you know, the thing that really got to me, VI and everybody else, when they basically had said, "Look, you know, once we take him off the plug, it should be 10 minutes. 10 minutes and he'll be..." But fucking Scott hung around for almost 10 hours. Almost 10 hours. And you're just going, God damn, that is one tough son of a bitch. Right? Yeah, like he just refused, you know. Very sad. Very, very fucking sad, man. Seriously. But yeah, that was it was a great wide-ranging episode. Not everything, you know, I don't want guys thinking, it was just a doom and gloom episode, I want to pass. No, it was all around, you know, it was a really good episode. But Kev kept it real, and you could really pick up the honesty, the sincerity, you know, from him. I mentioned earlier they're transitioning. Well, you know, after they got done talking about the passing of Scott, there was this weird transition as far as going into Q&A. And I think there was even, now I could be wrong on this part, but I believe there was maybe one more ad spot that was somewhere in there. But I definitely remember they had to transition into Q&A. And my advice to Big Sexy and Sean is just do better transitioning than that. When you have something that fucking heavy and all that, there's no problem saying, "Hey, Kev, let's take a commercial break. You know, we know we're live right now, but, you know, given the heaviness of the, you know, what we just discussed, let's just take a moment, you know, just recharge and, you know, gather ourselves a little bit, and, you know, and then we'll come on back. We'll get into some Q&A. That sound good, Kev? Yeah, let's do it. All right. Well, you know, you're checking out the Click This podcast. You know, we'll be coming right back in 60 seconds. Just do it like that. And, you know, that way it was really weird, because I'm looking at this because as a podcaster myself, I also think about transitioning all the time, especially when it comes to ad slots and shit. I'm going, how are we going to navigate these waters? And, you know, how are we exactly going to get out of this spot and transition into, I think we're supposed to be talking about something a little bit lighter here. So how are we going to transition into, right? I think about that type of shit all the fucking time. So, but it was good. It was a good venture. I'm happy to see Sean Oliver back at the helm again. I really am. It's weird when I think about Sean Oliver because, my God, kayfabe commentaries back in the day, it was kayfabe commentaries, RF video, and high spots. Those were your three main sources for all things shoot interviews. And fucking Sean Oliver, dude, was the fucking king of wrestling media. And then I thought for sure fucking, you guys tell me or not, but I thought for sure if anybody was going to figure out a way to make money on the podcasting game, especially when it comes to the wrestlers, I thought Sean would be the guy to capitalize on that. And, I remember one of the last times I had talked to Sean, he wasn't quite pleased, and Mish will back me up on this. Sean wasn't pleased with what was going on with the current wrestling media industry. I wouldn't blame you if you kind of felt a little bit bitter. Some of you guys with some of the things that Sean Oliver had said, whether you read his book. Matter of fact, I'm trying to see, where's his book? Where is that book? I'm looking at my wrestling book collection. I don't see it. I think it was called Kayfabe. I think the book might have been called Kayfabe. But he mentioned it in his book, but he also mentioned it in interviews. He kind of came off, I'm not saying it, but this is how he came off to others, bitter. Because of the fact that podcasts were able to get these interviews with said wrestlers. And, by the time Sean Oliver tries to, get to these said wrestlers, any and everything was pretty much already put out there. So it's kind of like, well, what exactly is the incentive? Why should they try to do a shoot? Why should they try to, when they've already done it for free, basically? Because a lot of the podcasts, I'm proud to say, for as long as we've been on the air so far, 10 years counting, I've come across wrestlers that, and I've told them straight up, I said, look, if you're not interested in doing it for free, we totally understand. If it's a case where you're more interested in, being compensated for your time, just let us know your price and, we'll do our best to hook you up. No problem. Right. And a lot of times we've either came across people that, no, they just appreciated the time. They just appreciated the thought, man. They had no problem doing it for free. Right. Because it was kind of basically, okay, we have an understanding. I'm coming on your show. Okay. So I'm giving you free press. But in exchange of that free press, what you're going to be doing for me, you're going to be helping me put over any upcoming events, any upcoming projects that I got going on. We're going to help put over my website, my merch store, all of that shit. Right. So it was a beneficial thing. Okay. And, Sean, he wasn't liking what was going on with the industry, but I thought for sure as a result of that, Sean would grab it by the balls and he basically would go in the direction of Conrad. I think I got the mosquito. I thought for sure Sean Oliver was going to go in the direction of Conrad Thompson. Everything that Conrad Thompson is so funny because everybody's like, oh, Conrad Thompson. Oh, he's the king of media. He's the king. And it's like, I look at Sean Oliver and I go, dude, this should have been you. What the fuck happened? Why were you sleeping behind the 8-ball? Like, this should have been an obvious transition for your respected business and everything. So I just find it so interesting what he kind of came off hating, what he kind of despised. certain aspects of the podcast industry and what it was ultimately doing to his business. I find it so ironic. I find it tongue in cheek, if you will, that what he despised, he's now turned to, right? And if I ever had an opportunity to, I definitely would have this conversation with him, because I would just love to understand, where his mindset is and all of that, right? I would just love to, but he did very good for a first show. He did very good. So definitely check it out when you guys get a chance. Also check out his YouTube channel. I mean, this guy is releasing stuff from the vault all the time, so you guys can basically watch this shit for free. Good shit. A lot of good shit that's up on there. I think he just premiered a episode of Be the Booker with Greg Gagne. There was some shoot that was uploaded of Scott Hall. There was, I think, most controversial diaries or wrestling, most controversial something. Tammy Sitch is part of this series, and some other stuff. Some good shit that they released. Oh, they released Al Snow's guest booker. Oh, okay. I definitely want to watch that. I love Al Snow. I love his fucking mind. For the business. He is fucking good. This brings me to my next question, because I had actually received a listener question via email, and anybody that wants to shoot me a question for a future show, you can either use the Discord, or you can shoot me a email, the rcwrshow@gmail.com. Take your pick. But I had received a very interesting question from a listener. Shout out to Daniel. I think he is from the... Hang on a second here. What's going on here? No, we're good. Okay, hang on. No, we're good. Hang on, guys. I want to check on something real quick here. I am showing right now that... Hang on here, guys. Somehow we ended up disconnecting from the other outlets. I have no idea how. So let me see something here. That's weird. So we've been streaming for you guys the entire time, and yet somehow that can't be right. Hang on here, guys. Let's see if we can figure this out real quick here. That is very fucking weird. Okay, very fucking weird. So, is there anything we can do at this point to... I don't think we can. Hang on here. If I can't figure this out, then nah, we're pretty much... Let me look here. So I'm going to say no. All right. And then let's look at this. Hang on here. Yeah, that is weird. So somehow, luckily, I always have backup plans. So we've been recording this audio the whole time. So you guys in Discord, y'all haven't been having any issues, but somehow the stream was not simulcasting on our usual outlets. So I don't know what the fuck had happened there. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Tech talk. I hate it. I hate technology sometimes, man. It makes me feel like a furious old man at times, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. So let me try this real quick here. All right, so that's recording, but what's recording isn't going to be the actual length. So let's just go ahead and let's stop that. And then the stream itself, what do I do? Do I reconnect? Let me see here. Fuck it. So we're just gonna upload. All right. So I know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have to upload the audio version on multiple outlets. That's how we're pretty much going to have to counter that. So that sucks. But anyway, I think was it Daniel? I think it was Daniel from California. He had sent in a question. It kind of ties back to what we were talking about earlier with Sean Oliver. And he had said, hey, I'm curious, what, as far as collaborations go, who would you be up for working with? Are there any people out there that you would be interested in doing a show with, a joint show, you appear on their show, they appear on your show. I had to think about that one. I'm like, cause it's very rare these days that I want to sit down and, okay, I want to talk to that person. Yeah. Give me that person. I definitely want to talk to that person. Very seldom. I remember one of the last times I had sat down and did like a series of interviews with folks that pretty much went back to the folks from Women of Wrestling. I remember we talked with David McLean. We talked with Selena Majors. We talked with Roddy Piper's daughter. Seems like there was maybe one more person in there. I already mentioned David McLean. That pretty much, right? So this go round, I wouldn't mind doing a show with Jason Solomon. I wouldn't mind doing a show with him. But see, here's the thing. Some of the shows that I would be interested in doing, I don't know if people would actually be interested in listening to it, because I wouldn't want to talk wrestling. That's the thing. With some of the people that come to mind, I actually would not want to talk wrestling. Jason, for example, he is like me. He is a huge Breaking Bad fan. He is a huge Better Call Saul fan. So I would just love to sit down with him. And I don't know, I've been kind of entertaining this off and on, but there's a part of me that actually would like to see if he'd be willing to do a special episode just reacting to the final season of Better Call Saul. Like we could just get together and just talk about the series finale, talk about the series overall and all that. I've been kind of entertaining that. And the more and more I've been talking about it with the wifey, she's like, reach out to him. Try it. Worst thing that could happen, he would say no. I'm like, yeah, that's true. There's also a show. There's a Vincent Price podcast. I think the people over there, I think they do a phenomenal job. All they do is talk all things Vincent Price. They talk about whatever movie, whatever TV show, guest appearances. And I am a huge fucking fan of Vincent Price. So shit like that, right? There's also a podcast that is by these guys. All they talk about is Rocky, the franchise. That's all they talk about. And I remember they came across my review for the Rocky movie from 1976 a couple of years ago. And they were like, oh, was this your first time watching? I said, no. I said, I just have seen it so many times. I know it front and back, up and down. I can write about it. And that's what I did for one of my assignments for my English class. And they were like, oh, okay, cool. And I remembered somebody had hit me up. And they were like, look, if you ever want to stop by the show and if you ever want to talk all things Rocky, we'd love to have you on board. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, bet, and I never did take them up on that offer, and I never did. It was an interesting assignment because basically for this, for my English class, this was like last year. And what I had to tackle was I had to talk about the type of cinematography that was used. I had to go in depth about that. I also had to talk about, actually, you know what? this was an English paper, but this was an assignment for my media appreciation class. Now that it's coming back to me. But yeah, they had said to me, and the rest of the students, like, okay, you're going to pick a film. You're going to talk about the cinematography. You're going to talk about the style in which the movie was shot in. You're going to talk about the theme, how it resonated with you, how it resonates to today's culture. It was a fun assignment. I actually still, for all the assignments I had did for that class, I still have the official papers that I turned in. I'll probably end up, going back at some point, typing them all, well, not typing them all back up, but somehow reformatting them and putting them on the website so you guys could actually see. It was pretty fucking badass though. It's pretty fucking badass. Let me see. What else? I'm trying to think. So far, like I said, the shit that I'm talking about, it would not be wrestling, related. It's not because I'm burned out on wrestling. It's just after a certain amount of time, I'm done on the wrestling. I'm clocked out, right? Stimulate my brain another way. It's kind of, that's where I kind of am right now. Kevin Nash is actually somebody I would like to sit down. It would probably never happen. I think the closest I could get is Sean Oliver, but I would love to sit down with Kevin Nash, and just not necessarily politics, but he's got his finger on the pulse on just everything that's going on, so it's kind of like pick the topic. I think if it was a case where the listeners just pick the topic, I think me and him would definitely hang, and we're just kind of going. I could just see that being like a really good conversation. It wouldn't be anything combative. It would just be two minds meeting in the middle, and we're just kind of going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, his comment about why wrestlers don't get heat like they used to, that was a damn good take. That was a damn good take. And I know he wasn't trying to use Seth Rollins as the greatest example, right? He wasn't trying to use Rollins as a punching bag or anything, but he makes a damn good point about, look, these guys that are pretty much coming up today, they don't look like they could kick your ass. Was his bottom line. They don't look like, they could kick your ass. They just look like these little, average Joe looking type of cats. Right? Yeah, they could do cool shit in the ring and everything, but beyond that point, there's nothing that screams, they got it. They got the fans eating out of the palm of their hand when it comes to, yeah, he's absolutely right. He is absolutely fucking right. Trying to think what would be another good collaboration. I think that might be it. Honestly, I think that actually, you know what? There's one more. I love the guys over there at Good Mythical Morning. I fucking love those dudes. The quirky little inventions that they be making, little food inventions and shit. I also like when those guys be doing blind taste tests. Those guys are fucking cool. Those guys are totally fucking cool. So I definitely would do some stuff with them as well. As far as talking wrestling though, if you had to talk wrestling with this person, this may not be a popular pick. David Hero. David Hero is somebody that, and I have a funny story in regards to David Hero, by the way. David Hero is somebody whose work I've appreciated. My God, we're talking Pro Wrestling Report days. So I love that fucking dude. That dude has a great fucking mind for the business. You know, you're thinking, okay, this is how I'm looking at it. And David can just, okay, a coin might have two sides, right? But man, by the time you get done talking to David, man, David got you looking at that coin from so many goddamn angles, right? It's like, it's more than just two angles, right? That's David Hero. David Hero is definitely somebody, if I wanted to talk all things wrestling with for about a hour or two, he's definitely one I wouldn't mind. Him and Al Snow. Those two I definitely wouldn't mind doing something with. So hopefully that answers that question. Yeah, I loved his true story. You guys may not even be aware of this, but back in the Pro Wrestling Report days, I stayed being a frequent guest of theirs. I mainly was a guest on the audio version with Meathead and Matthew Thomas. And I remember when they were trying to figure out how to do stuff on YouTube and everything, right? We're talking like 2012, maybe 2013. It wasn't the podcasting game back then. It wasn't nowhere near what it is now. People were still trying to figure out, what is this? Is it worth my time? Nobody was even thinking about the whole lucrative part yet, right? People were just trying to figure out, what is it? Is it very technical? Is it easy? And if so, what do you got to do? Right. So people were still kind of looking at it cautiously and everything. But I remember for a hot period of time, I was helping them out behind the scenes, helping them try to, get their shit up and running and all that. And those guys, they were totally fucking cool. I'm trying to think. There was even one time. Now, I don't know if I actually appeared in person on a webcast version of theirs, but I swear I remember something happening with a PWR webcast. I remember something going on. I never did anything with David Hero or Damian Nelson. When I did do the collaborations, I was always doing shit with Meathead and Matthew. David Hero story. I got a fun David Hero story for you guys. True story. So one day, this was like about God, and David will confirm this story. One time about 8 years ago, David Hero had posted on Twitter that he had this really cool vintage NWA Who's Who photograph that was up for sale. And man, the amount of autographs that he had on this single photo, you're going, holy shit. So I had hit up David and I said, yo, this is badass. Like, I wouldn't mind getting this photo. And he's going, okay, here's the link to my eBay store. Go check it out. So I go on his eBay store. I actually bought the photo. And I say to him, okay, so this is a original, right? And he goes, oh, no. It's a reprint. But I'm the only one that has the original, and you would be the only one with a reprint. So I'm going, okay. I'm like, well, I guess that's not bad. So I've got this. I don't know why I'm continuing to look into the webcam, because we're not even streaming right now. But this NWA photo that I'm talking about, I'll show it to you guys the next time that we are streaming officially on the air and everything. But it's got Bobby the Brain Heenan. It's got the Hulkster. It's got Vern Gagne. It's got Lou Albano. It's got Mean Gene Okerlund. I mean, it is just a fucking who's who. There's like about maybe 20 to 30 motherfuckers in this picture, and there's like about at least Kurt Hennig is in there as well, if I'm not mistaken. I got to double check and look at it, but it's got like, I'm looking at it right now. It's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Looks like it's got about 20 signatures. About 20 signatures that's on it, right? So I'm going, oh, nice. And but David Hero had actually sold that to me. So that is a true fucking story for you guys. Let's see. What other stuff can we get into before we get ready to roll out here? Let me just look at the show notes for this episode here. Somehow I need to go into the events tab. Actually, you know what? I don't even need to do that, because I actually took a copy right before. Why is Supergirl trending, by the way? What's going on with that? Why is Supergirl trending? Goldberg. Yeah, I thought I forgot something. Goldberg had set the record straight about defeating the Fiend for the WWE title. If you guys have missed that one, it's a really good interview that he did. He spoke about getting that championship off of the Fiend. He pretty much said, look, this was not my doing. I did not use politics. I didn't politic my way into defeating the Fiend for the championship. No, in actuality, the way that match was supposed to go down, Fiend was supposed to defeat me and retain his championship. But then just a mere hours before the actual pay-per-view, like within the last 3 hours before the pay-per-view, they decided to change the finish. Day of, they decided to change the finish, and they basically said, okay, we're going to have you defeat the Fiend. You're going to defeat him for the championship. So, Goldberg pretty much saying, hey, look, that wasn't my fault. That wasn't my doing. Look, I'm all about helping put over the young guys. I'm all about helping, the company, whatever Vince wants me to do. That's what I'm going to go out there, and that's what I'm going to do. If anything, I wish that whoever was doing the interview with Bill Goldberg, I wish they would have pushed back a little bit and say, when you heard this, was there any part of you that kind of pushed back on that idea and, maybe said, hey, look, not for nothing, but Fiend is on a roll right now. Are we really sure this is the right move to be making? Wouldn't we be kind of hurting him and having the fans be, in a position where, I've alienated them? Like, are we really sure? I wish that, because if you're going to go there, right? If you're going to throw that breadcrumb out there and the person takes the bait, then it's okay. Well, let's keep going. Let's go all the way. Let's really explore this some more. That's my only regret. Good question. But you got to follow up, man. You got to follow up with that. There was also a interview he did with the New York Post where he talked about his contract status with WWE. He had previously said that when his deal runs through this year, and, he had included 2 matches, it's being assumed he has 1 match left. So he noted that he has a shoulder injury that needed surgery, and he hasn't cut on because you never know when the phone's gonna ring. So he's been holding off that surgery because, right. He added that he's still in pretty damn good shape right now. He said the shoulder was absolutely destroyed over the past 4 or 5 years to the point he couldn't pick up a 5-pound weight, but he was able to hide it from everybody. However, he's been rehabbing the injury. He started with 1 pound weight and is now back to shoulder pressing 80 pounds. So that's kind of where he is right now. I did not know some of this shit that's been going on with this guy. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking insane. But so he still has at least 1 match. 1 match guaranteed. He's got 1 match left, and then pretty much that's gonna be it. He's assuming he has 1 more match, so he's trying to do his best not to get this surgery. Well, it's safe to say they're not going to do anything with Goldberg at SummerSlam. Maybe at Survivor Series, guys. I mean, honestly, you know, you kind of think about that. With that one last match, who would you have Goldberg lose to? Who would you have Goldberg lose to? Look, the trajectory of everything going on in WWE right now, all things considered, Theory, something to think about, y'all. Something to think about. I can just picture you guys. No. Like, hey. I can just imagine you guys. Fuck no, Lee. Don't fucking wish that wicked fucking evil on me. Don't you hit me with that shit. I mean, look, we see how hard they're trying to get this kid over. And Bill Goldberg would not be surprising whatsoever. I mean, I can just see it clear as fucking day. Goldberg's out there. Maybe you could do some type of Goldberg appreciation night. Austin Theory crashes the scene. He's putting himself over. He's the future. Old man, you're a thing of the past. They in the past, huh? Why don't you come down here and let me spear your ass, right? However Goldberg fucking talks. I mean, there's your instant fucking Acme feud right there. And then Theory beats his fucking ass. Gets some major fucking heat, beating Goldberg's ass. Come out the very next night. I destroyed one of y'all personal favorites there. Old man Goldberg. How about that, right? I can see that fucking shit happening. As stupid as that shit sounds to you guys. And I know it sounds stupid. In WWE's mind, it would make all the fucking sense in the world. Shout out to AQA. Looks like she's stepping away from wrestling due to not being in a great place with it right now. Have no idea what the fuck that means, but she had wrote, I want to take this time to say thank you to anyone who has ever cheered for me, supported me, bought merch, had me on your podcast, or wrote an article about me. Those who sent love messages, made fan art, gave me a hug during a meet and greet, or a high five on my way from the ring to the ring. Promoters who booked me, opponents that stood across from me, and my trainers for teaching me everything I know. I wouldn't have made it this far without all of you. At this time, I have decided to step away from professional wrestling for the immediate future. For the past few years, both mentally and physically, I have not been in a great place with wrestling. And silly me, I kept pushing through because I didn't want to be seen as weak, but it only sucked the fun out of every opportunity I had. I hope during this time I'll be able to reflect deeply and see what path is best for me. Thank you, AEW, for granting me this time. Until I see you all again, much love. So talk about something that just came from out of the clear blue here and everything. And you know, look, she did have some pretty fun matches. You know, one of the things that really stood out to me the most about AQA, and remember, she was trained by Booker T. What really stood out to me the most, the girl knew how to sell. Facial expressions and all. She knew how to just tell that story. She knew how to move. And I mean, she showed a lot of fucking potential. Great agility in that ring as well. Solid young kid. I thought she had a bright career ahead of her, whether that be as part of the AEW roster or maybe doing something with Ring of Honor's little women's division. I definitely thought she had a pretty good future ahead of her. When you hear stuff like this, you know, you just go take care of home first. Obviously, there's some shit that's going on that's more important, that's bigger than wrestling. Go do what you got to do. Take care of that, and you know, worry about wrestling, if at all, you know, at a later date and everything. Kind of weird, kind of, you know, because it's weird because this just kind of really took me out of nowhere. You know, I don't think this was a case where she wasn't getting, you know, enough opportunities. I don't think it was anything of that magnitude. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, there's just some shit that's going on behind the scenes, and as it is in life in general, right? You can't really focus on business if home ain't taken care of. If you ain't got your house in order, you got the cracks in the foundation going on, it's just a matter of time before it bleeds over into your fucking 9 to 5, and you're just, you feel me? So kind of sucks. Kind of sucks what's going on. Ricky Steamboat is going to be appearing on next month's set of NWA tapings. They had made the announcement, NWA did. They made the announcement that he's going to be joining them on Monday, August 29th at the Skyway Studios in Nashville, Tennessee for their NWA tapings. So I'm looking forward to that. Check this out, by the way, for those of you that might be interested, there's going to be a limited meet and greet with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So photo ops and all that. I'm sorry, not photo ops, but the meet and greet packages, VIP, looks like it's $50. So check this out. $50 includes, I was saying it right. I was jumping ahead there, but I was saying it right. A photo and an autograph opportunity with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Q&A with Billy Corgan and special NWA talent guests. Early entry and best choice of seats in the studio. Guaranteed admission to the TV tapings. So anybody that is interested in that, head on over to nwatix.com. Again, that's nwatix.com. So you know what? If I didn't have that thing in September, I definitely would look into this. I definitely would. Speaking of which, it's been revealed Ric Flair's final opponent or opponents for his final match coming up later this month. So great little video that they had put out too, by the way. Always good seeing Ric Flair bleeding his ass off like a stuffed pig. So basically he's going to be teaming up with his son-in-law. It's official now and everything. Andrade is his son-in-law, as he and Charlotte had tied the knot. Again, congrats to them, because I don't think we ever did say congrats. I don't remember saying congrats to them on their wedding. So it's going to be Ric Flair and Andrade teaming up to face the team of Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. I don't know how I personally feel about that, to be perfectly honest with you. More on that. I think it's one of those deals where let me actually watch this, and then I'll kind of comment from there. Eddie, personally, if the wrestling business got to these wrestlers mentally now, staying away for good could be a good idea, because unless you get some mental help, you're going to get affected again if you come back. Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. I would agree with that. I think it just really depends. Like if your heart is into it, over the years, I've had friends that have tried to do their best to break into the wrestling business and all that, and some have been able to do so. Nice little small scale, work is consistent, whatever, right? They've made their strides, but there's always, I'm trying to find the right words here. If your heart's in the right place and you mean well and you're trying to do your thing in the business, you're trying to make your mark in the business, that's all fine and dandy. But if home isn't taken care of, whether it is toxic relationship or hell, a person can't fall out of love. Hey man, I thought this was something I really wanted to do, and now I personally feel as though my calling is elsewhere. I just don't, right? It happens. It fucking happens. The best thing you can do if you mean well by that person that, is saying, hey, look, I'm going to step away from this. Okay, well, good for you, hope you as far as the pursuit of happiness goes, hope you're able to find it and hold on to it. I look at Kylie Ray. That's a really good example of someone that obviously loves and respects the business, but every time you turn around, whether it's an old demon or just something going on in her personal life, she typically has to step away and take care of some shit. And then, next thing you know, we see her again, right? She's definitely one example of, hey, look, she definitely loves the business, but some shit on the side seems to be going on and all that. I don't know, man. It's kind of like one of those case by case fucking basis. It kind of seems sometimes. I don't know. Teach its own. But that definitely took me by surprise hearing that about AQA, because I definitely felt that she had a lot of fucking potential there. I definitely felt she had a lot of potential. Let's see. Other than that, I know about the Michael Elgin shit. Michael Elgin can just kick rocks for all I care. I don't give a damn about that dude. Seriously, I don't give a damn about that dude. He can kick rocks. Whether he shoplift or not, I see the statement that he put out there and all that. Whatever, dude, whatever. Like, honestly, I'm not thinking about you. I don't care for you. It's weird. I wasn't always that way with Michael Elgin, but I think once the allegations had came to fucking surface and that whole peeing incident on a girl or some shit like that, just once all that shit just kind of, dude, I'm done with you, man. You can miss me out on all that. Seriously, miss me out on all that shit. Oh, God. I don't know if he's an idiot, if he's a dumbass, if he's ignorant. All the above. I don't know what's going on with that dude. But seriously, that's one guy that... Isn't he part of the Control Your Narrative promotion? I mean, if not, he's got the right fucking DNA for that fucking promotion, does he not? Shit. I mean, seriously, he checks off all the right fucking boxes. The only thing missing, you a Republican? Do you believe the election was rigged? Do you believe minorities shouldn't have equal rights? Well, man, CYN is just for you. I mean, seriously, man, that is just the craziest fucking shit I've ever fucking seen. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be Ric Flair teaming up with his son-in-law, Andrade. They're going to take on Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. So that's going to be Ric Flair's final match. I think we all kind of knew that there was just no way Flair was going to be able to do a straight up one-on-one match. So the fact that he's going to be doing a tag match, again, I don't know what to say right now. The point I'm at right now is, okay, he's going to do this, whether some of us like it or not. But there is the curiosity part in me that wants to see this. I'm not going into this anticipating a train wreck. I'm going into this out of curiosity how this is going to go out. I'm very curious to see, right? And obviously there's going to be a tape delay, right? I'm not expecting anything grim to happen, right? I'm very curious. After all the shit this guy has been through, I'm just very fucking curious how this is going to fucking pan itself out. But I tell you what, he's surrounded with some pretty good names that's in there. I just, if it was up to me personally, and if it was under the right circumstances, if it was maybe just a Ric Flair from 10 years ago and a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from 10 years ago, I would say, there you go. There's your final match. Just have at it. Let's go. Or if it could be Ric Flair and Sting. Okay, let's go. But we're going this route. And some of you guys may say, how the fuck does this make sense for a Ric Flair final match? I would say, touche, pussycat, touche. But this is where we're fucking going. This is where we're going. I'll be watching it. I'll definitely be watching. I'll be watching that, and I will be watching the roast of Ric Flair. I'll be watching all of that shit. Quick programming notes for you guys. All right, so Tuesday night, we got a new Wrestling with the Topics for you guys. We'll be on at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. So a few minutes after NXT goes off the air, join me and the missus. A lot we're going to be getting into on that respected episode. We both had watched the Martin TV reunion over the weekend, so we'll be going in depth about that. Whole lot of fun stories you guys are definitely going to enjoy. It's going to be a very upbeat episode that I think you guys will definitely be enjoying. So we'll have that for you guys streaming on all the outlets. I wish we could have figured out what was going on streaming on the multiple outlets earlier tonight. Kind of weird, but it is what it is. Hopefully we'll have it all figured out by the next episode. And if you got some questions that you want for me and Tabs to maybe get into on Tuesday night's show, you could definitely post a little question up in here or send an email at thercwrshow@gmail.com. Make sure you put in THE now. thercwrshow@gmail.com. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads. Definitely support all our sponsors because they are doing their part in sponsoring us. So best way you can represent, visit the links that you see in the episode description. If you feel some of those products apply to you, have at it. Feel free to order and all that. Remember what I said earlier about lulock.com. Make sure you just visit that site. Check them out. Just, browse, give them a look-see. Definitely give them a look-see. I want you guys to represent, show them some love. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. And until next go around, wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another.
Thanks for listening to Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive.